Adding to Asha's question and what you have mentioned, how do you perceive the role of AI in shaping the mindset of masses, especially in social and political context? Do you see AI as a boon or a bane? And how do you see the role of AI in governance and position of government as a stakeholder in generative AI?
Before coming into the campus, I was sitting outside in a coffee shop. I was having coffee. There was a startup guy sitting there, busy with his laptop. He looked at me, I looked at him. Both had time. I said, who are you? He said, sir, I'm some startup guy. He asked me, who are I? I said, I'm doing politics here. Within 30 minutes, let us discuss. I said, which field you are? He said, I'm in the people hiring field. I said, it's going okay? He said, no, sir, AI has disrupted everything, sir. Now all resumes are fake, sir. People write all beautiful things. I mean, we are taking so much time to realize what is right and what is wrong. All statement of purpose, very fancy ones they write. It looks so believable, very emotional. 100% it is going to disrupt. Massive disruption is on. And let me go one step further. For a country like us, which is just getting into that orbit of high growth, because your second part of the question is about how the country AI disruption. And we are just warming up to get into that orbit of $10,000 per capita income. We are about $5,000 now. And we have an ambition to reach there. Now I'm going to read out the statistics for you. What is India's GDP now? So we are about 3.8 trillion, give or take a little bit million here and there, 3.8 trillion. So China's GDP is about 17.9 trillion today. I hope it is a true figure from China because nobody knows what is the true figure. $17.9 trillion. And the Americans are somewhere around $37.8 trillion today. Americans are at 37.8. I was just calculating, when I go to IIT campus, these guys are going to make my country, our country, the developed country by 2047, correct? That is our goal. So I was thinking, how will you guys do it? So I did a simple mathematics calculation. If India is growing 13.5% from today, remember, no country has grown 13.5% for more than 2 years. If India is growing 13.5% today, for the next 25 years, compounded annual growth rate, CAGR, F30.5, next year 13.5, 13.5. America is growing at 4% from today. 4%, 25 years. In 2047, we and US are equal. Yes, next 18 years, you are growing at 13.5%, 18 years, top. China is growing 4% next 18 years, top. Then you will say, hello boss, we are equal. Now, look at the challenge. Can you grow at 13.5%? Because 2047, we have kept a target of $38 trillion now. From 3.8, we have to reach 38 trillion. Traditional ways of business is 100% not going to give you 13.5. Max 7 right now. Do well with a good prime minister, good policy, 8.5. Country aligns in the political sphere. All state governments wants to be in the business mode and less politics and more governance. All states in India, maybe 9.5. Then more IITs churning out intelligent guys like you. You are not going to US, I'm assuming. You all stay in our country and you all stay in our country for the next 25 years. Do everything. 10.5. Correct? And China problem solved, Pakistan problem solved, everything solved. And there is no nuisance, political nuisance like me. Everybody is sober and everybody is good. 11.5. Correct? We are talking of 13.5. 2047 equal. So now you're talking of artificial intelligence disruption, 3D technology, traditional manufacturing practices going for a toss. Americans are telling no more buying from China. Next president, you have to manufacture in US. And you're like, hello boss, you manufacture in US, it will be costly. To hell with it, manufacture in US. If US starts back manufacturing in a big way with the Elon Musk and people of the world, if the Europe starts manufacturing within them and they don't want to get into this cost arbitrage, which China mastered for a long time, so you have to understand that is the world you are entering tomorrow morning. You are entering into the world, the Americans are very clear. You know for a fact, if you look at the groups, the Hispanics and the Asians, their per capita income is growing up because they are more hardworking. Maybe I am not hardworking, but I don't want to work hard. Their artificial intelligence is entering. You start imagine, it is reshaping the global politics. Just imagine, it is completely disrupting. People are fearful, people are afraid. People think the supply chain is going one side, probably to our hemisphere. And the south is fearing, the north is regaining control. The north is fearing, south is more noisy. The global south, the north. So you're getting into this geopolitical tension, which was never there maybe 100 years before. Even World War II was not worse than this. Because now there is no powerful guy. There is zero powerful guy. Who will put a regulation? Why should I listen to Americans' regulation on AI? Tomorrow if Joe Biden is saying, oh, this is America's regulation on AI, you all have to follow. I'm not going to follow. I'm saying, who are you? No, they say 1950 I was a great superpower. I will say to hell with it. You are no more a super, you are declining superpower. You are no Pax Britannica, you are not no Pax Americana. For 100 years, one global superpower managing the whole world. Look at America. They want to manage the whole world. You put one aircraft carrier in South China Sea, you put one closer to the Koreans, you put one in the Middle East, you put a CENTCOM command here, you have a Pacific fleet, you have a blue water navy. Everywhere Americans felt, oh, this is my century, I'm controlling the whole world. Middle East fellow have to listen to me, the Koreans have to listen to me, the Japanese have to listen to me. Now, why will I listen to US? If you look at Jaishankarji's statement, the America is listening to Jaishankarji now. He's going to US and talking a language which we never thought in our lives. We will hear an Indian external affairs minister talking in US like that. So the point I'm trying to tell you is, who is going to regulate AI? And it is completely cross-border. And Europeans don't have a common agreement on how to regulate. Some countries over-regulation, some countries lesser regulation. Americans have a problem. And you can't call the chiefs of big companies to the Congress every time, and the congressmen cannot sit and grovel them. It looks good on TV for their constituents, so you can get some votes. That's the American model of democracy. Look good on C-SPAN. Now what I'm trying to tell you is, I don't have an answer. That is why I'm giving a long answer to you. And what I'm trying to tell you is, there is no answer to it. It is going to disrupt. And that is why we need smart guys like you in politics. Because, how many current politicians understand AI? 543 members in the parliament. Yes, they are very good in the traditional politics. Extremely good. This caste you divide, this caste you put, and you put a candidate from this caste, and you put a independent candidate from this caste. Sorry, I will look this side. Sorry, I'm just going that side. And you put an independent candidate from this caste. He will be the vote cutter, and they will win. Now the politics have to change. See, people sitting there in Delhi, not understanding technology, AI, deepfake, regulation. Over-regulation is a problem. You never know how to turn on that stove, because dosa has to be pakka. And it has to be correct thing. You have to just flip it and put it. Now regulation has to do that, right? You put over a thing, dosa will become black. Lesser it's uncooked, stomach pain. So I would only say, better guys should get into positions of power, guys of integrity like you, guys of intelligence like you, and understand 10 years from now how will it happen, 20 years from now what will shape up, how is the global demography changing, how is the geopolitical tension now. So Google is number one now, 10 years from now who will be number one? And you all know the chip, the AI, what is the AI background, what is the background for AI? Powerful chips drive AI, right? People say AI is not some bhuta or some something sitting somewhere in Norway and say, oh, I am AI here, hello, hi, hi. It is not that. It is some powerful chips manufactured in Hong Kong by TSMC, which manufactures 56% of the world's chip, and 60% Taiwan, or a company situated in Netherlands which manufactures the machine for that chip. $100 million is one machine. And we are looking at nanometer now, sir. NM, we have got to 3 nm now, the chip design. 3 nm is the latest TSMC. I am really fearful. I am not hearing this conversation inside politics. I want to hear this conversation inside politics. I sit in many rooms. I sit in a lot of rooms. I want to hear this conversation. Oh, now it is locked. The company in Netherlands, the sole company in the world which supplies that machine to TSMC, to NVIDIA, it supplies to Samsung. And they have a monopoly for the next many years to buy only that machine. which can write 3 nanometer chip now. And you are seeing there is a guy who is having that monopoly outside, and who is going to have that AI monopoly in the next 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. And I fear that we are going to get loose out. And that is why our government talks semiconductor, manufacturing, bring it, chips. And I don't see the language of an MLA or MP who doesn't even understand what is happening. Something happening in Taiwan is going to have a repercussion in IIT Chennai. So sorry for the long answer, but the short and sweet answer is, we need intelligence guys like you with integrity to come into the playing field. We are in for a serious disruption. Politics, economics, geopolitics, the way the supply chain is structured, the way Indian economy is being currently run. So I hope and pray that you guys get into politics. Now you are like, what is that? We called you to give lecture on only economics, only policing, only this thing, and now you are calling us. So unless the politicians become smarter than the people to whom the governance is applied, then there's no way you will progress faster. So I hope and pray that we all together will solve the AI challenge.
Population. Also, a follow-up question on what Vikram added. I think we are seeing a lot of amazing Gen AI tools coming up like ChatGPT and other, and all of these are coming from Western countries. Like India hardly has any big tools. Like two big reasons: we lack a right framework, and we also lack right talent pool, and this will widen the gap of urban versus rural in India. So I think that's another area we would like to hear your views.
Whatever AI you're generating, producing, sits on top of other networks. So AI is applied on top of a network. AI can be applied on top of a production network. You can apply AI in a factory. You can apply AI on a consumption network. So people are consuming something, you're distributing something, you can apply AI on that. So AI sits on top of a network, right? I'll tell you a very interesting story to demonstrate the power of this thing. It's not directly related to AI. The United States attacks Iraq, okay? Within 25 days, it is wiped out the entire Iraqi military. And then 6 months later, something happened. And suddenly, US soldiers were dying every day. And within a 6-month period, the US Army lost about 1,000 armored vehicles. So how did a country or a system that couldn't take on the United States at all and failed to take them on, suddenly 6 months later, literally broke their back? What happened? Saddam Hussein came from a tribe called the Tigriti tribe. This tribe was the center of the Iraqi regime. When Saddam Hussein realized that America aa raha hai, he told all his Tigriti guys, bhaiya, tum log bhago. What did he do? He basically took 155mm shells. You know what they are? Artillery shells. And he distributed them to all these guys. And he said, gaon mein inko le jao. And these guys took these artillery shells and they dug them in the ground. That's all. So what I'm trying to tell you, the Tigriti network came together, cell phone network came together, and the explosive shells came together. 3 networks that were disconnected came together. And they literally obliterated the superpower in Iraq. So the game is about bringing unconnected networks together. Now, what is the biggest problem in India? Our biggest networks are not connected at all. So you guys are a tiny network. You're 1% of the country. Very small network. You're not connected to anything else. I mean, if you really want to bring India's power to bear, then you have to think about these things. Networks are energy, right? The moment you bring them together, it doesn't become 1 + 1 + 1. It becomes exponential. Blam, it just goes. If you use that framework,